Well, as you can see, this Sportster's finally complete. It was quite an easy project for us, mainly painting, powder coating and some new parts. We've got a new front wheel on it, as you can see. We've got a nice set of Vance and Hines short shots. The tank had a dent in it, so that's all been sorted. It's had paint work on the tank, the front and rear arch. Rear shockers on the last video were shot, so that's all new. The back wheel is the original one, as is the rear sprocket. That's all the original. They've just been off a powder coat. It's got brand new front and rear tyres on it. The belt cover, it's had a few little holes drilled in it like the modern 883 Sportsters or the Harley 48s. I think I've done it justice for what I've done to it. Front wheels come from America. That was quite a reasonable price part, to be fair. We've had new handlebars on it, we've had new grips on it. I've been through a lot of the original aluminium and polished all it up. There is a bit of a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to do that. But yeah, take a look at part 1, part 2, and then keep watching this one. So today on the channel we're going to be tackling this engine. As I mentioned on part 2 of this build, I was going to be using this VHT Crackle black paint. So far I've cleaned down the engine with a wire brush. As you can see, I've masked off everything I don't want to get painted, and I've also been over it with a bit of brake cleaner just to get rid of any contaminants. So what we do now, give this a good shake. It's all clean and we can start shooting it. So as you can see, it's all painted. That's one good thick coat. I've been around with a torch just to make sure there wasn't any areas missed. It seems pretty good. They do say that if you don't put a good enough layer on this, it won't crackle. So I'm going to go over it again, make sure it's completely covered, and then we'll go with the next process, which is getting a heat gun on it and just localise the heat until about 150 degrees, they say, and then it'll start to crackle. It's pretty good. It's a nice effect, and hopefully it'll last, because the original Harley paint, it was all flaking off. So yeah, keep watching. I'll show you how it's done. So as you can see, this engine's got a good covering of paint. It's had 2 layers, quite a thick layer. The next step in this process involves one of these, and you want to have it on a quite a hot setting and just start heating the engine up. So this is the finish we've got on this tank. As you can see, it's got a good coating of black. It's turned out pretty well. There is a few little nibs in it that just need to touch out, but so far for gun finish, that's quite a good finish. I've got the front and back mudguard to respray next. So I see quite a lot on these Harley forums, and there's a lot of people with a set of Sportster, say front forks, and you generally find there's a lot of corrosion on them. The aluminium's just started to pit. There's quite an easy fix on this. What I tend to use is a bit of 600 grit paper, followed it up by a bit of 800 grit paper, and then I use this Maguire's all metal polish. It's pretty easy to use, and I'll just give you a quick tutorial. So here's the 600 grit paper. As you can see, we're all pitted on this top half. As you're rubbing it, you can clearly see that the corrosion is disappearing. I mean, I do this a couple of times myself, but if you want a better finish, you can maybe go 3 times, 4 times. The more you do it, the better finish you get. It's coming up alright so far. Move on to a little bit of 800 grit, tiny bit finer. I mean, there is people out there will go right up to a 2000 grit. I don't seem to think you need to go that far. So already a lot of that pitting in that area, a bit of that corrosion has disappeared. I mean, you can take your time on this, but I'm just doing it quick just to show you. We'll get some of this Maguire's polish. You want a tiny little bit on a microfiber cloth. Already we're getting a nice little shine on that, you see. And that's just one pass. If you wanted to, you want to get your 800 grit again, give it another blast of it. There's no need to go for rougher one, as that's just to get the deep off. And again, bit of a microfiber, bit of the magic polish. Give it a nice little buff up. And there we have it, nice and shiny. You can see if it'll focus up here what it was to start with compared to what it is now. Quite a massive difference. I have done a little bit down this bottom end as well. I'll slowly work my way around the whole thing, probably take off this reflector and it'll look like new again. Thanks for watching. So I managed to get hold of one of these new style covers from you know, a newer 883. Gonna fit this on the this 2006. Should look pretty smart with all the black that's on it.